The very last part of the chapter is sustainability of development. What is sustainability? First, understand the term. The term is used by me and in the SST also many times. Sustainability, sustainable development means without harming environment. For the coming generation, we have to reserve our natural resources. That kind of development is called sustainable development. It means we will not harm any kind of harm to our natural resources and our environment. Maybe other hand we are making development, but that kind of development should be take place, which should be not harm to the environment, and the natural resources should be reserved, protect for the upcoming generation. The statement which is given here very easily, very boldly, we can understand. We have not inherited the world from our forefathers. It is not inheritedly we got. We have borrowed it from our children. It means we have to protect it, preserve it for our children or for our upcoming generation. Sustainability of development in detail we will see. Whichever way we define development, suppose for the present that a particular country is quite developed. We always looks the economical development of a particular country and says that particular country is developed or not developed. We would certainly like this level of development to go up further or at least be maintained for future generations. Whenever we speak about the development of other country, we expect that kind of development should be take place in our country also or in other countries also. This is in having in America, this is having in Australia, this is having in the Europe, in China. This should be have in our country also. We like the development. Everyone like the development. This is obviously desirable. Yes, it is desirable. It is not wrong thing if we desires the development. But on the other hand, the development is harming to the environment. It is completely abolishing the natural resources. However, since the second half of the 20th century, a number of scientists have been warning that the present type and level of development are not sustainable. I think this part we have studied in the class 8, if you remember. Natural resources when we were studying in that part. If the rate of using natural resources will remain in this way, so in upcoming 25 to 50 years, there will be no natural resources occur on the earth for the further development. So the rate should be reduced, or we should be look other ways of the development which will be not harm to the environment. The examples are given here. With this example, you will study very well. Example 1, groundwater in India. The level of groundwater day by day is decreasing. In the earlier days, the water for the well were getting very easily. But nowadays, the bore should be go very deep, then only the water is getting. It means the water of the groundwater level is decreasing day by day. Earlier, maybe before 100 of years, maybe it is here, but now it is decreased here. In this way, it is decreasing. Why? What is the reasons for the decreasing the groundwater level in the India? The example is given here. You study here. Recent evidence suggests that the groundwater is under serious threat of overuse in many parts of the country. The overuse of the groundwater is taking place. That is why the level of groundwater is decreasing. About 300 districts have reported a water level declines of over 4 meters during the past 20 years. Only in the past 20 years, the 4-meter water level is decreased. Nearly 1/3 of country is overusing their groundwater reserves. The country's 1/3 part is overuse. It is not just use, it is overusing the groundwater. This all part we have studied in the class 8. If you remember that same, You will understand this part very easily. In another 25 years, 60% of the country would be doing the same if the present way of using these resources continue. Groundwater overuse is particularly found in the agriculturally purpose region of Punjab and western UP, hard rock plateau areas of central and south India, same coastal areas and the rapidly growing urban settlements. Not only in the rural region, but in urban region also, the use of the groundwater is increasing day by day because government has given the permission to individual. They can dig the borewell individually. The subsidies also provided to dig the borewells. So people are taking more and more borewells. That is why the groundwater table is decreasing. With the example number 1, it is given how we are using the natural resources. Not using, we can say it is overusing. We are overusing the natural resources. Groundwater is an example of renewable resource. Groundwater is an example of renewable resource. Every year, the rainfall is there, and that rainfall, from that rainfall, the groundwater is renewed every year. But then also, this is a situation we are experiencing. The table level is decreased. These resources are replenished by nature. The nature automatically replenish it, recovers it, as in the case of crop and plants. However, even these resources may be overused, but then also it should not overuse. It is replenishing every year, renewing every year, so we can use it. It is not. We are not free to use it. The rate of replenishing is a very different. So that is why we should not use it more. For example, in the case of groundwater, if we use more than what is being replenished by rain, then we would be overusing this resource. Clearly it's said here. The rate of replenishing is a different. If we are using more water than the replenished, it means we are overusing the resource. The same case with the non-renewable resource also. Non-renewable resources are those which will get exhausted after years of use. It's are also replenished, but the rate of replenishing is a different, very slow. So we cannot claim here these are renewable, replenishable, so we can use. We have a fixed stock on earth which cannot be replenished. We do discover new resources that we did not know of earlier. In the earlier period, which were not used, we have to look, we have to make research on it for the use or substitute for the having natural resources. Like we can use the tidal energy, we can use the wind energy. So other ways are there which can be substitute to the non-renewable things, non-renewable energies. New resources in this way add to the stock. However, over time, even this will get exhausted. So whenever we are using, we should keep in mind judiciously we have to use everything whichever we are getting on the example. The example is given here of the crude oil. For example, crude oil that we extract from the earth is a non-renewable resource. However, we may find a source of oil that we did not know of earlier. We have to look there what is substitution for the crude oil. The example 2 is given here. Example 2, exhaustion of natural resources, how we are using. In the countries or in the Middle East region, 89 billion tons is used. The number of year can be remain. This results 93 years. The situation of United States of America is very worse again. The reserves are having only 4 billion tons, and if the rate will remain same, it could be used only to the further 10 years. About complete world, the figure is given. 137 billion tons are there. Upcoming for 43 years, it can be used after 43 years. It is completely vanished from the earth. That time, what we are going to do, what will we do? That should think now only, and the substitute can look only now. This kind of development only can be say the sustainable development. And nowadays, which development is taking place, that is not sustainable development. This estimate, what says here, the table gives an estimate of reserves of crude oil. More important, it also tells us for how many years the stock of crude oil will last if people continue to extract it at the present rate. If the rate will remain, the using rate will remain same. So just only 43 years it's RB going to get to us. After 43 years, nothing will be there. The reserves would last only 43 years more. This is for world as a whole. However, different countries face different situations. Countries like India depends on importing oil from abroad because they do not have enough stock. The country, India is completely dependent on the other countries for the crude oil. We are buying crude oil from the Arabian countries. Countries like India depend on importing oil from abroad. Abroad means from foreign countries, other countries, because they do not have enough stock of their own. This country, our country is not enough stock ourselves. If prices of oil increase, this become a burden for everyone. We are facing this problem every day. Nowadays, the price of petrol and diesel is increasing day by day. So that is why we are facing burden cause of it. And if the rate will remain same, may we will face more problems cause of it. There are countries like USA which have low reserve and hence want to secure oil through military or economic power. These countries, the USA country always tries to dominate on the Amirat countries or Arabian countries where the stock of crude oil is having because themselves they are not having enough reserves. The question of sustainability of development raises many fundamentally new issues about the nature and process of the development. What are the issues? Is crude oil essential for the development process in a country? It is essential, but we can look the substitute for it. Nowadays, many substitutes are there. We can look. The technology is developed. Through this technology, we have to look the substitute for it. India has to import crude oil. What problems do you anticipate for the country looking at the above situation? What our country will be look or face the problems and how we are going to solve this problem, that we have to think. Consequences of environmental degradation. What is consequences? Results, impacts. The environmental degradation whichever country is making, but all world is facing the problem. Consequences of environmental degradation do not respect national or state boundaries. If something is happening in America, the environmental degradation is taken place in the America. That area is not going to come in India. It is not going to happen. There is no any restriction on the environment or on the nature. It is going to spoil whole world. Maybe one country is making mistake, but whole world have to face the problem. Consequences of environmental degradation do not respect national or state boundaries. This issue is no longer region or nation specific. Our future is linked together. We all are linked. We all are part of the earth. Sustainability of development is a comparatively a new area of knowledge in which scientists, economists, philosophers, and other social scientists are working together. All people are working here in the case of sustainability development, how to make the development in a sustainable way. All are looking, searching the ways. In general, the question of development of progress is a perennial. Perennial, it is remain continue, seasonal and perennial. In the third lesson of geography, we have studied with the drainage system, the term. Perennials continues. The development or progress, the question will be remain continue. At all times, as a member of society and as individual, we need to ask where we want to go. It is our responsibility. We have to think, this is the time to think here, what is our goal, what is development, how to make the development, and how to follow the sustainable development. So in this way, we have studied the complete term, complete chapter, development, the goals, the criterias, and sustainable development. Different countries, different states are having the ways of different development. All about the development we have studied here. Watch all videos to understand all the part again.